Welcome to A Guide to Every Deck in Modern. Today we're looking at Merfolk. Merfolk is an aggro-tempo tribal deck that uses the synergies between various Merfolk creatures to disrupt and overrun the opponent. The primary path to victory is playing a number of cheap Merfolk and bolstering them with various lords such as Master of the Pearl Trident and Lord of Atlantis. Glasspool Mimic can serve as land or lord if you already have one. Because of those cards gifting Island Walk, the deck plays Tideshaper and Spreading Seas, which disrupt the opponent's lands while also making your creatures unblockable. This makes Merfolk better suited than other tribal decks to attack big mana decks like Tron. Merfolk tends to be a trickier deck than other tribal decks, and by that I mean it plays more tricks. There are a number of flash fish that can mess with the opponent's plans, such as Merfolk Trickster doing its best impression of Dress Down. Mutavault adds another body on a land that gets pumped by lords and walks over islands. Silvergill Adept and Zviolin can replace themselves. Zviolin and Kira make your creatures more difficult to kill, including themselves. Because the deck is entirely or primarily blue, it can run various counterspells including Force of Negation to fight spell decks. As always, Aether Vial is a huge boon, allowing you to outtempo the opponent and flash in threats. Hands with it are far better than hands without it. Sideboarding and Weaknesses. Because it's mostly or entirely blue, Merfolk has limited options in what sideboard cards it can play, mostly relegated to counterspells. Historically, white has been a popular second color to open up more options. In certain matchups, Merfolk transforms into a control deck. Thieving Skydiver provides an answer to cheap artifacts while also being a body. The deck is definitely slow, although it can get turn 4 wins with multiple lords. Merfolk leans heavily on Aether Vial, and hands without it can simply be too slow. Unfortunately, tribal decks in general have taken a beating in recent years and are now largely unplayable. This is due to an increase in value-generating cards such as Omnath and powerfully efficient removal like Prismatic Ending, Unholy Heat, Solitude, and especially Fury. Tribal decks are generally slower than other aggro decks and can simply no longer compete with the power of mid-range and control decks such as 4-color Blink. In order for tribal decks to get back on the map, they'll need new additions that either provide explosively fast starts or value engines. Tips and tricks. The Merfolk Lords only grant Island Walk to other creatures, not themselves. You need 2 to be able to attack with everything unhindered. Merfolk Trickster has a wide band of applicability similar to Dress Down, though it doesn't stop ETBs. You can activate Aether Vial on upkeep to flash in a lower mana value creature before you take up its counters. Tideshaper's land transforming kicker ability is the reason to play it since you have Island Walk Lords, although you can play it turn 1 or off an Aether Vial if you have a fast beatdown line. You can have Glasspool Mimic enter the battlefield as an unactivated copy of Mutavault. Silvergill Adept will trigger without needing to reveal a Merfolk if you vial it in or by Glasspool Mimic copying it. Reveal the Merfolk you're going to play next to minimize giving your opponent information. You can't choose 0 as a value for Thieving Skydiver's kicker. Sorry, no stealing artifact lands or saga tokens. Otawara can bounce a number of cards for value, notably Glasspool Mimic to copy something else, Silvergill Adept or Spreading Seas to draw another card, Tideshaper to change which land it's transforming into an island. If you need double blue and your only lands are Mutavault and Oboro, you can tap Oboro, bounce it with Mutavault, and replay it for the second blue. I hope you've enjoyed this look at Merfolk. I want to thank my fellow players in the Magic community for whom sharing their experiences helps make these guides possible. You can find additional resources, such as an up-to-date deck list, in the description. If you think I left out anything important or got something wrong, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned to see what deck we look at next time.